alleges she was in fact murdered by Matthew Farwell.
It's a first step in getting some justice for Sandra.
Well, I think they should watch the police a little better when they're taking care of kids.
And first at 11 tonight, a former Stoughton police officer has been indicted in the death of Sandra Birchmore back in 2021. This is video here from outside Northgate Mall in Revere, where police arrested 38-year-old Matthew Farwell earlier today. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Colton Bradford. Priscilla and Glenn have the night off. At the time of Birchmore's death, it was ruled a suicide, but now federal investigators are saying Farwell strangled her in her apartment and staged it to look like a suicide. NBC 10's Kirsten Glamb is live for us outside Stoughton Police Station, learning all new details here. Kirsten.
Well, Colton, the FBI announced today that they have officially started looking at, or they did rather start officially looking into this case about a year ago, and now a former Stoughton police officer is being charged in Sandra Birchmore's murder. Now, the community here has been outraged for years over how this case was handled, and we're hearing more from everybody involved tonight. It took 3 years, but federal investigators say Sandra Birchmore will now get some semblance of justice. In this cell phone video, you can see a SWAT team arresting former Stoughton Police Detective Matthew Farwell Wednesday morning at a parking lot in Revere. He's now federally indicted in her death.
He allegedly attempted to cover his tracks to literally try and get away with murder. And he almost did, until today.
Prosecutors now allege that in 2021, Farwell fatally strangled Birchmore in her Canton apartment. Birchmore was 3 months pregnant, telling friends that Farwell, who was married, was the father.
We believe Matthew Farwell staged Sandra's body and her apartment to make it look like she had died by suicide.
NBC 10 Boston obtaining exclusive police audio recordings from when Birchmore's body was first discovered.
The medical examiner's office is taking Sandra. They're taking her, and it's my understanding that they'll do an autopsy.
You can hear family members questioning why the seemingly happy 23-year-old would have taken her own life.
I regret, ma'am, that I have to tell you that Sandra is deceased.
Oh, my God.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
She would have committed suicide. She was so happy to be pregnant.
Documents state Farwell had an ongoing illegal sexual relationship with Birchmore beginning from when she was just 15 years old. The then teen was enrolled in a Youth Explorers program meant for kids interested in a career in law enforcement. Phone records obtained by NBC 10 Boston investigators show the two exchanged more than 32,000 text messages in the year before she died, some indicating the two met up for sex while Farwell was on duty.
Matthew Farwell's gun and badge did not grant him authority to violate the Constitution, and it certainly didn't entitle him to sexually exploit, abuse, and rape a child before killing her and her unborn baby in an attempt to cover up his alleged crimes.
Meanwhile, Stoughton Police opening an internal investigation over the years, concluding that two other officers, in addition to Farwell, also had an inappropriate sexual relationship with Birchmore.
Just to be clear, you're not going to comment on the other two officers who had sexual relations with this Birchmore?
That's correct.
In 2022, Stoughton's chief called for all three men to be decertified as police officers.
I said this 3 years ago. When it happened, I said it 2 years ago in a news conference. This is a horrific situation.
Tonight, Farwell is being held. He's in custody of the U.S. Marshals. If he is convicted, he faces a minimum sentence of life in prison. We're live here in Stoughton tonight. I'm Kirsten Glavin, NBC 10 Boston.
Kirsten, thanks for starting us off tonight. Now, many people who live in Stoughton, they say that these charges announced earlier today have been a long time coming. People close to the Birchmores tell us the family never believed Sandra hurt herself or her unborn child. For about a year now, advocates have rallied together, holding standouts every month, demanding justice for Sandra, and many of them say that today was an emotional day.
Sandra could be any one of us, could be any one of our children, and it's important to make sure that it stops here. There needs to be a lot more justice to come, but today's a good day.
Advocates say the 2 other officers accused of inappropriate relationships with Birchmore still need to be charged for them to feel like justice has been served. And of course, make sure that you stay with our team here at NBC Boston for continuing coverage in this Sandra Birchmore case. Of course, you can go to our website where you can read the indictment of Matthew Farwell and also see and hear more reaction.